What's going on, everybody? This is the blockchain backer bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. Welcome to a new week and welcome to a above $40,000 Bitcoin price. So, great way to start off a Monday, start off a new week to see that Bitcoin's price has moved slightly to the upside, breaking a little bit higher out of this range that it's been stuck in for about a couple of weeks now. Not able to have a daily candle close since back on May 20th. So we're currently above that price right now. Obviously, there's a lot of time left in the day, but I'm feeling optimistic that we will close higher than that price level. But man, I woke up earlier this morning. I was like, we were still stuck down in here, right? We're stuck under this price range. I was like, you know what? I've kind of had my schedule off a little bit. I've been doing my running in the afternoon and evening time, and it's been crazy because I do it at like 9 o'clock at night, trying to close my rings and, get my exercise points and all that stuff before the night. And I was like, you know what? Today we're going to do it differently. We're not, we're not just going to sit here stuck in this range. I'm going to go running. It looks like it wants to break out. I get it all done. We come back. Boom. We got our breakout. I'm so happy to see this. Obviously, there's still a long ways to go to the upside. We have a lot of work to do, but we haven't seen a $40,000 price level since May 27th. The market has now officially been in fear for over a month. So I was looking back at, the last time we had a big ABC correction. We haven't seen this level of fear in the market happen since really back in September and October when we were stuck down in here. A lot of the market thought we were going to repeat what happened during the C19 sell-off at this time period. But we had the exact same thing happen in here where we had a 702 Fibonacci retracement where it came down, hit the 702, went back on down, showing an ABC correction. And then we were stuck down here for about a month and a half before we grinded our way up to the upside. And you guys all know the story. A lot of new people came into this market at this time during this whole grind up, but they haven't experienced what these types of sell-offs are like and what the emotional impact they can do on people's psychology. We had this type of sentiment happening in here like we had happening back in here. Same thing, ABC, with exactly a 702 Fibonacci retracement right to there for the B leg. So seeing a little bit of relief, seeing a little bit of optimism, dude, I will take it on a Monday. Kind of sets the tone for the rest of the week. But just remember, things don't go in straight lines. Sometimes they do, but most of the times they don't. Still grueling, like we talked about at the very beginning of the month, that June would be kind of a grueling month that we would have to go through. I still expect that even when you break out and you break free from ranges, typically you'll have to consolidate on top of them. So, we could even assume, hey, let's say it goes all the way up to $45,000, $47,000. Well, there could still be a grueling range building process that takes us way back down in here. But getting out and finding the reversal back in this level, it's what we were looking for, right? We've looked at the inverse structures of these things to see that Bitcoin would continue moving higher. Very, very happy to see this because, well, you guys saw it when we talked about it last week. There's going to be a lot of people who are drawing triangles and going like this and saying, hey, we're in trouble here. Well, guess what? That just got broken back up. On Friday, I'd put out a video saying how my conviction is still that we're going to go to the upside. I know these things can look scary when we start drawing triangles and start doing all that stuff, but it can create these false illusions of what's happening in the actual market. But that when we compare them to what has happened in these phases of market cycles, that we can see bottoms come in just like this. And not only that, that it's happening down here at this price level. And for some reason, most of the market has forgotten this is where Tesla said that they accumulated at. Not that I care, but you would think that market participants would take that into consideration, but you just never hear them talking about it, that, hey, the price is right back where Tesla accumulated. If you believe that Tesla did accumulate, wouldn't you consider that to be an interesting price level? Or do you really think that they're going to get crushed? I doubt it. But awesome to see that bottom coming in here. Again, I don't expect it to be a straight line back to the upside, but that was a big moment, what just happened here in the last couple of hours for us to get back up above this price level. And the rest of today could still be even more interesting. This may just be the start to a very good day. And one of the reasons I think that to be true too is because when we look over here at the total altcoin market cap, we've been looking at this, we've been talking about this, that, hey, hopefully by this week we would see something pretty big come out of here. And it does look like we're getting in the early stages of that happening, and that's really what we're looking for up in here, is a big move that really brings us all the way up into this price level right over here. Give you a little rectangle right on there, get you right up into there, which for the altcoin market is about 1.1 to 1.2 trillion. But looking over here at XRP, it looks the exact same. Like it's just like right there on the verge of having a really big pop to the upside. And this is going to be kind of that big moment that we've been looking for. Are we going to be having longer term consolidation, or is this a big breakout going to be happening happening here for XRP. We know where the retracement levels are. We know where we need to get to. So historically, when we have these big pops in this phase, either we come all the way up here, then bounce around in here for a while before scooting our way out, or are we going to see a pretty big rejection come in right in there at about $1.47 and then see longer consolidation? But I think we're right there on the verge of this thing really getting going, and then everything is going to be dictated by how this all plays out once we get to these retracement levels. But the excitement phase, I think that's what's ahead of us right now. Just know I'm always trying to look forward. I'm trying to say, okay, well, what's the next phase if that does come? What am I looking for to happen after that happens? So I don't get caught up in the excitement of the price moving up, which is, of course, exciting. But what needs to happen with that price going up? Because just because we get to $1.50, $1.60, $1.70, it doesn't mean anything for me, right? I'm not selling anything at that price level. My price levels are way, way higher. So I want us to get way, way higher. So even though that's exciting, what needs to happen for us to keep going? And the big thing is getting through the retracement levels. But I think we're right there on the brink of that happening. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be happening this week. I think we're going to have an exciting week here in the cryptocurrency market. Of course, always dangerous to put those time predictions out there because time can be incredibly difficult to predict. But with the setups that we have, these setups look ready to rock. So if we end up getting these breakouts, these are the things you're going to keep seeing me point to. Right now, you can hear it in me, the excitement, the bullishness, the anticipation. But for those who have been with me for a while, know when the prices get higher, I start to get concerned. And it's all about this stuff. We get through there, boom. Let's all have fun. Let's party. Let's have a great time. But until then, this is the big moment. And I think we're going to be getting it very soon for the XRP price chart. So looking for to see that we're going to be getting through $1.46, $1.47. That's a really big one. And so long as we do get through that one, well, then the eyes are going to be on, can we get all the way up here to about $1.70? And if we do get to $1.70, consolidate or even get beyond it. But I do think it's in the cards very soon that we do see a break to at least $1.46 pretty soon. But make no mistake, that was a great thing that happened over here on Bitcoin. Just understand that, man, these things can go on for a while. I mean, even if you looked at it and you said, hey, okay, let's just grind out at this velocity out right in here. Well, where are you looking at? You're looking at early August still before you even get back to the all-time high. What is today? June 14th. That's a month and a half from right now. And we know that these, what are you expecting? Just green lines every single day to get you there. We know that's not to be true. It can happen with one big green line and then a ton of reds bringing you back over here and then getting your way up there, right? So it's not an easy process to get back up there, but today's price action was exciting. And just remember what it looked like back in here, right? You could see that, like, imagine that we're kind of like right in here. If you pulled all the way up to this price level, which would be equivalent to doing something like this right in here, you could see how that fallback occurred, right? That would be like kind of like pulling back down in here for a while and spending another month kind of like this. Let's just kind of copy and paste that. Imagine if you had something like this happen, but it's just happening from a higher price range, right? You'd still have that same grueling stuff, but happening all here in between $42,000 and $47,000 for a while before finally getting back up to the all-time high. I'm not saying it's going to do that, but I'm also just saying that, my expectations are not that it's going to go in a straight line. But I think a lot of that stuff is going to be dictated by the market pretty soon. And I think XRP will give us a pretty good story on that, right? If XRP does find some significant resistance there at $1.46 or $1.70 and it pulls all the way back down to $1.20 or something like that, we know we're going to be consolidating for a while. But I also presented the argument on Friday. I made a kind of a longer video to show the phases of where a lot of these altcoins are at right now, that we could be seeing major breakouts in these altcoins soon. But my conviction is absolutely still, I'm bullish on the market. I think we're going to see a lot higher prices in the altcoin market. And I still think that we're going to see a new all-time high for Bitcoin. And I think today's break and today's price over here for Bitcoin probably is making a lot of people question what their thought processes were. I'm not big on trend lines. For those who have been with the channel for a long time, they know I'm not big on trend lines. But for the people who are, that thing right there, what that just did for Bitcoin, messed up a lot of their stuff, which is why I do not think that we're where a lot of people think we are. And I do not think we're in a dead cat bounce for Bitcoin. I think we're heading into the fifth wave of Bitcoin's bull run right now, which is the final wave, in which we had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with extended wave 5, A, B, C. And now we're heading in for a final 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means you have wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. And there you go. I rarely do Elliott waves on here, but I do them privately quite often. And a lot of people will argue where the waves really count. And I try to take into a lot of things and gauging kind of sentiment too. It's typically in those ABC corrections where you see kind of a capitulative sentiment happen with the market. And the last time we had the actual capitulative sentiment was not since back in here, since the corrective wave of wave 2. So here we are in corrective wave 4 having that same type of sentiment. Some people may argue, hey, this was wave 4 right here. This is the end of wave 4, but I just don't see how you're going to create your 5 waves in here to say that's ABC of 4. So I do believe this is the ending of wave 4. We're kind of wrapping up wave 4 to move into wave 5. But let it be really clear that when I think this thing's completely wrapped up, my expectations for Bitcoin are to head all the way back down to $14,000 when it's all wrapped up and all said and done. One thing to keep in mind for the altcoins, though, is before it heads all the way back down there, is usually we do see some type of big fall followed by, again, a 702 retracement that comes in there. And in 2013, we saw it kind of bounce around after it hit the top. It had a big pullback, and then it came back up to the top of the top again. And this was the end of the alt season. However, in 2017, the end of alt season came in here. So just because Bitcoin's top comes in doesn't necessarily mean that the altcoins are completely done. Typically, what happens is that Bitcoin will come in, hit its top, and then after it has its first knockback, it comes in for a retrace. That would be the end of the alt season. So that's what I'm looking for. Just because Bitcoin hits its top doesn't necessarily mean everything's done for the whole market. There is still some work to be done over there in the altcoins, but we just have to wait for that time to come. I know a lot of people get upset and heated whenever you present this argument that Bitcoin's going to go back to $14,000. That's not me just being some type of, bear or FUD starter or anything like that. That is based on every cycle that Bitcoin has done. It's major cycles. That's the size of pullback it has. When we take everything into account, we typically see about an 83.5% pullback in Bitcoin's market cap. That is not unrealistic. We've seen it happen multiple times. 83.5% pullback. And I know a lot of people will want to argue this time is different. Institutions, it's different this time. But every single cycle was different from the previous one, right? The 2013 cycle, just a bunch of nerdy dudes, right? The 2017 cycle, hey, it finally made it mainstream. It was finally on CNBC for the first time in a big way, where CNBC was teaching people how to buy Bitcoin, how to buy XRP, how to buy Tron. That time was different from the 2013, but the prices reflected that time was different. The prices are reflecting that this time is different with all the institution stuff, the country stuff, right? The government's adopting Bitcoin. I have to take into account that, yes, it's different, but it's not different at the same time. And that corrections do come, and I'm going to be having the same expectations of how the market has always played out. So 14,000 is not me being a FUD starter, it's not me being a hater. It is simply based on how the market has always performed, and that is with an 83.5% pullback in Bitcoin's market cap. And if we had an 83.5% pullback in Bitcoin's market cap, you'd be looking at $14,000. We saw that in 2013. We saw that in 2017. If we were to see that again in 2021, 2022, 2023, that would still indicate that Bitcoin still has some more growth left in it, and an 83.5% pullback takes you right back down to the top from June of 2019, which is right here at about $14,000. So I go based off the math, I go based off math, and I go based off history. I don't go based off narratives. But when I go based off math, and I go based off history, and I go off wave counts, and all of that other stuff that I do, the optimistic thing is Bitcoin still has higher prices to set. The altcoin market still has higher prices to set, and we're still in an exciting time in the cryptocurrency market. But like I said, I always try to look forward to what comes next. I don't want to get caught completely wrong-footed. I want to have some type of expectations of what could happen. And the whole reason why I'm bullish here, and I'm not one of the people that are scared this is a dead cat bounce and that this is going to end horribly and terribly, is because I'm going based off all this math. I'm going based on all the stuff that says, hey, look, I think we still have higher to go, because when that big correction does come, when that big fall in Bitcoin does happen, it doesn't happen until we get to higher pricing. I still think it's right. I think people are correct to think that there's going to be a major correction at some point, but I just don't think it's right now. I think it comes from higher prices. But either way, I don't want to bring you down. I just want to talk about why I have the conviction that I do. And my conviction is that, yeah, I do think a big correction is going to come. It's just not coming from right here. I don't think so. But I'm optimistic about what we see right now. But otherwise, I think this week is actually going to be pretty exciting. We're seeing the early signs of that. And I think, especially for XRP holders, a lot of my core crew that watch my channel, I think we're going to have an exciting week this week. But we'll just watch and see what the decision is that happens up in here. Are we going to get our way out, or is this going to be grueling out for quite a while? But I think a lot of people could just find some relief getting back above $1 and really back to the mid $1 level, $1.50 or so. I think that would just put a nice little bit of relief on a lot of people. So if we start kind of seeing early signs of that, maybe we'll do a live stream together and kind of have some fun together. It's been a long time since we've done a live stream, maybe a month and a half, almost 2 months since we've done one. But otherwise, I'm very optimistic for this week. The time has come. Let's see this market cap move its way up. But all right, guys, happy Monday, happy Green Day, happy 40,000 Bitcoin day. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. I spent my whole weekend like really grinding around the house, like doing like stuff that like projects that needed to get done, whether that was putting in a ceiling fan or building a gate around, an area where I don't want my son to be able to get into because he's trying to climb everything. It was really just one of those weekends where I was constantly doing things, and it feels good to just get back to doing YouTube and hanging out and looking at charts because I looked at charts very little. I didn't even know that Bitcoin had like started moving to the upside last night until people started messaging me on Twitter and stuff, and they're like, "Hey man, you see this? You're not saying anything about it." And I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even realize it." But that's probably what my afternoon is going to be again. It's going to be back to working on things and building things and finishing projects. When you start like 3 projects and you never even complete any of them, but you still have them all laying around. I need to go finish them. But anyway, enough of that. I hope that you're doing well. I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. What a great start to the week. And maybe, just maybe, this week we get a live stream because hopefully I'm really looking for that breakout to happen in XRP. But all right, thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, if you'd like, you can check out my course on my website, bcbacker.com. It's where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs and the different altcoin market cycles. I tie them all together to show how those alt seasons have worked in the past with Bitcoin's previous cycles. Talk about mathematics and percentages. I talk about my personal exit plans, and I teach you how to set up your own, tools and indicators and trading view and get all that stuff set up if you want to learn how to chart and do that kind of stuff. And on CoinTrader Pro, you can check all of this out over here on bcbacker.com. Follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And thank you guys so much for watching my channel. If you could, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.